In a world that constantly pulls at our emotions, where every opinion demands a reaction and every insult begs for a response, there is a rare kind of strength. It's not the strength to fight back. It's not the strength to scream louder. It's the strength to stay calm, to stay centered, to choose peace over chaos. Today, I want to talk to you about a truth we often overlook. The strongest person is not the loudest, the angriest, or the most reactive. The strongest person is the one who doesn't react, because they know their energy is too valuable to waste on things that don't matter. So if you're tired of being pulled into battles that drain you, if you want to master your emotions instead of being mastered by them, this message is for you. In today's fast-paced and emotionally charged world, silence is often misunderstood. It's mistaken for weakness, for passivity, or for not having an opinion. But in truth, silence is one of the greatest forms of strength a person can possess. It takes tremendous power to remain calm, composed, and silent in situations where emotions are high and the urge to react is overwhelming. Silence doesn't mean you are unaware, indifferent, or incapable of responding. It means you have chosen to rise above the noise, to protect your peace, and to respond with purpose rather than impulse. That choice to stay silent when everything inside you wants to explode is not weakness, it's self-mastery. When someone insults you, challenges you, or tries to provoke a reaction, your first instinct might be to fight back, to defend yourself, to prove your worth. But true strength lies in realizing that not every comment, not every attack, and not every situation deserves your energy. The person who can listen without reacting, observe without judgment, and remain silent when it's tempting to speak, this person is operating from a place of deep inner power. They have trained their mind to be still in the face of chaos, to remain unmoved when others are consumed by emotion. That is not weakness. That is discipline. Silence is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't feel anything. It's about acknowledging what you feel, sitting with it, understanding it, and then choosing the best response, not the loudest one. It's easy to lash out when you're hurt, to shout when you're angry, or to argue when you feel disrespected. But it takes a true warrior to pause, breathe, and ask, is this worth my energy? Is this aligned with who I want to be? Silence gives you that space to decide. It protects you from acting out of anger and helps you act out of intention. There's a reason why ancient philosophies, from Stoicism to Eastern spiritual teachings, place such high value on silence and non-reactivity, because they understood that control over self is the foundation of all other power. When you learn to control your reactions, you no longer live at the mercy of other people's behavior. You no longer give strangers the remote control to your emotions. You become grounded, unshakable. You walk through the storm, and the storm doesn't walk through you. People who speak the loudest are often the ones struggling the most internally. They shout to be heard, to prove something, to mask insecurity. But the silent ones, the calm ones, carry a different energy. Their silence commands attention. It makes people wonder what they know, what they are thinking, what gives them that level of calm. Silence, when used intentionally, is a presence that speaks louder than words ever could. It is a quiet confidence that says, I don't need to prove anything to anyone, I know who I am. There's power in restraint, power in not letting your mood dictate your actions, power in not needing to have the last word. When you choose silence, you are not letting someone win over you. You are choosing to win over yourself. You are making a decision that your peace, your growth, your focus is more valuable than a temporary emotional release. And that decision is the mark of true strength. In a society addicted to reactions, where social media rewards outrage and conflict, choosing silence is a revolutionary act. It separates you from the crowd. It puts you in control of your own narrative, and most importantly, It allows you to protect your energy for the things that truly matter. Life will always test you. People will try to bring you down, push your buttons, and provoke your emotions. But when you learn to respond with silence, not because you're afraid, but because you're focused, that's when you rise above. So the next time you're faced with a situation that demands a reaction, remember this: silence is not retreat. It is strategy. It is not submission. It is selection. You are not walking away from the battle. You are choosing not to waste your power on the unnecessary. That is strength. That is control. That is what it means to be truly powerful in a world that runs on noise. Emotional control is a form of power that few truly understand. In a world driven by instant gratification, viral reactions, and quick tempers, the person who can stay calm under pressure stands out as extraordinary. Emotional control isn't about suppression or pretending to feel nothing. It's about choosing how and when to respond, instead of letting emotions dictate our actions. It's the difference between being controlled by circumstances and choosing to rise above them. When someone insults you, provokes you, or challenges your peace, your first instinct may be to snap back. But true strength is shown not in retaliation, but in restraint. Many people mistake emotional outbursts for passion, but uncontrolled emotion often leads to regret. Words spoken in anger can damage relationships, reputations, and peace of mind. Emotional control allows us to pause, reflect, and respond wisely instead of impulsively. Think about the most respected leaders, thinkers, and role models in history. What made them powerful wasn't just their words, but their ability to stay grounded when the world around them was shaking. They didn't let anger or fear make decisions for them. They chose clarity over chaos. When you control your emotions, you protect your energy, you stop letting every minor inconvenience or toxic person steal your focus. That discipline creates a mental edge. You become someone who is not easily shaken, someone others can rely on when things get tough. That kind of internal stability creates external respect. People notice when you don't react emotionally, and often that silence is more powerful than any argument. It shows maturity, confidence, and strength. It tells the world, I am in control of myself, and no one else has the power to change that. Furthermore, emotional control brings freedom. You're no longer a slave to what others say or do. You begin to operate from a place of intention, not reaction. You start responding in ways that align with your values, your purpose, and your long-term goals. That's real power, not the kind that seeks to dominate others, but the kind that masters self. In doing so, you create a life that's not easily disturbed by external storms, because you've built peace within. So remember this: every time you choose patience over rage, clarity over confusion, and discipline over impulse, you're building real strength. You're becoming unshakable. And that, more than any loud reaction or emotional outburst, is the mark of someone truly powerful. Emotional control isn't weakness. It's the ultimate strength. Reacting gives others control over you. This statement carries more weight than most people realize. In life, we are constantly surrounded by situations that test our patience, challenge our ego, or poke at our insecurities. Whether it's a rude comment from a stranger, an offensive post on social media, or someone close to us saying something hurtful, our natural instinct is to react. We want to defend ourselves, prove a point, or strike back. But every time we do that, we hand over our power. We give the other person the ability to dictate how we feel and how we behave. When someone provokes you and you immediately respond with anger or frustration, you've allowed them to press your emotional button. They've successfully taken control of your state of mind. Think about that. A few words from someone else are enough to shift your energy, mood, and sometimes even your day. Is that the kind of power you want to give away so easily? Strength isn't about showing people how loud or tough you can be. It's about showing that your inner peace is not for sale. It means your emotions are governed by your values, not by someone else's behavior. Learning not to react is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending things don't bother you. It's about choosing your response consciously. It's the ability to pause, breathe, and decide whether something even deserves your energy. Most situations that trigger us are not about us. They're about the other person's pain, insecurity, or need for attention. When you recognize that, you begin to see that reacting is often a trap. The moment you react, you're playing their game. But when you stay grounded and unbothered, you're in control of the board. True power lies in restraint. It takes strength to stay calm when everything inside you wants to lash out. That calmness is a reflection of self-respect and emotional maturity. You're telling the world, I decide how I feel. I choose what deserves my energy. You stop being a puppet controlled by external events and start becoming the master of your internal world. The more you practice this, the more resilient and unshakable you become. In the end, people will remember how you carried yourself, not how you reacted in a heated moment. The strongest people are not those who win arguments or dominate conversations. They are the ones who walk away with their peace intact. So the next time someone tries to pull you into chaos, remember this: when you don't react, you remain in control. And that's the ultimate power. In a world driven by ego and the need to be right, we often confuse strength with dominance. We believe that winning an argument, getting the last word, or proving a point is a sign of power. But the truth is, peace of mind is greater than proving a point. Real strength lies not in how loudly we can argue, but in how calmly we can walk away. When someone disrespects us, challenges us, or tries to provoke a reaction, the natural instinct is to defend ourselves. Our ego wants to rise, retaliate, and make it known that we are not to be messed with. But in doing so, we give our peace away. We hand over control of our emotions to someone else's behavior. Think about it. Every time we argue to prove we're right, we let someone else set the tone for our mental and emotional state. They control us by knowing they can trigger a reaction. The strongest people in the world are not those who win the most fights. They are those who walk away from unnecessary ones. They don't need validation, and they don't need to prove their worth. Why? Because they already know it. Inner peace isn't found in being louder or smarter than someone else. It's found in knowing who you are and not letting temporary noise shake your foundation. The power of non-reaction doesn't mean weakness or passivity. It means you are secure enough to let things go. You know that not every battle is worth fighting, and that your energy is better spent on things that move you forward, not on petty conflicts that only drain you. Responding in silence or with grace doesn't mean the other person wins. It means you choose peace over pride. It means you value your time, your energy, and your mental clarity more than the fleeting satisfaction of winning a moment. In fact, the need to constantly prove ourselves often comes from a place of insecurity. When we are truly confident, truly grounded, we don't need to prove anything to anyone. We realize that our peace is priceless, and we guard it like treasure. We don't chase arguments or clapbacks. We move with quiet confidence because we understand that not reacting is the ultimate display of strength and discipline. So the next time you feel triggered, challenged, or disrespected, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? More often than not, it's not. And in choosing silence, in choosing to walk away, you're not backing down. You're rising above. You're proving that you have mastered the hardest skill of all, self-control. And that is what makes you truly powerful. Self-mastery starts with stillness, not impulsiveness. In a world that glorifies fast reactions and emotional outbursts, it's easy to believe that speaking up or striking back is a sign of power. But true strength lies in restraint. It's in that moment of inner pause, when your heart is pounding and your mind is racing, that the real test begins. Will you lash out, or will you hold your ground in silence? The strongest individuals are not the ones who dominate every conversation or win every argument. They are the ones who maintain their calm when everything around them invites chaos. They don't let emotions lead them. They lead their emotions. Stillness is not passivity. It's a conscious choice to respond with wisdom rather than impulse. This stillness is where clarity is born. When we allow space between stimulus and response, we see more clearly. We see that most things don't require a reaction. Not every comment needs a comeback. Not every disagreement needs to be a war. The strongest person doesn't react because they have nothing to prove. Their self-worth isn't dependent on external validation. They know who they are, and that certainty shields them from petty provocations. Impulse is often a reflection of insecurity. When we react quickly, it's usually because we feel threatened or misunderstood. But a person who is grounded doesn't feel the need to defend their identity at every turn. They understand that dignity doesn't shout, it stands tall in silence. This strength, this composure, is often mistaken for weakness. People may call it cold or indifferent, but in reality, it is the highest form of emotional intelligence. It is a declaration that peace is more valuable than pride. Developing this level of self-control takes time and practice. It's not about suppressing your emotions but mastering them. It means recognizing when your buttons are being pushed and choosing to stay centered. The mind that can pause before it reacts is the mind that controls its destiny. It refuses to be a puppet of other people's words, moods, or opinions, and in doing so, it finds freedom. Freedom from regret, from guilt, and from unnecessary conflict. So, the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this: stillness is not weakness. It's wisdom. The strongest person isn't the one who wins the fight. It's the one who doesn't need to fight at all. They walk away not because they're afraid, but because they've already won the battle within. That's the kind of strength that doesn't fade. That's the kind of power that builds legacies. And that's the kind of strength we should all strive for.